Kevin, what will you be looking at in this mess today? I want to know what the White House zeitgeist is at 10 a.m. or 12 noon today.
Well, the president at 10 a.m. is going to be heading over to the State Department to get the swearing in of his new Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo. The question becomes, will he address and talk or comment on all of the speculation regarding the questions from and the latest reports with Bob Mueller? That, I think, will be a huge signal, Tom, to see whether or not this is really weighing on the president's mind, number one, but also if he's taking the legal advice of his legal team, which is telling him to keep quiet on this.
But, Kevin, Stephanie Baker brilliantly laid out like who wrote the questions and all this stuff that's in the gossip out there. The news item this morning, Kevin, is his lawyers, maybe they can't even get security clearance. Kevin, when does he get frontline, Washington-based, experienced legal counsel? Everybody, I would think, Kevin, wants that for our president.
The moment he decides to listen to it. That's when. And I think right now what you've seen is that this president has largely looked at his past and said that he has always been in charge and in command of of his legal advice and of his own communicative strategy. That's aided him to where he is. So to him, to his supporters, to those who work frequently with him, they believe that him being in control has allowed him to go further. Look, and I would just note, and I said this yesterday, but it's incredibly difficult to prove a charge of obstruction of justice, particularly in this lens. I think the bigger takeaway is what is the report that Bob Mueller's team is going to be putting out publicly, and the point that will get us there is the surrounding of whether or not, or the framing rather, Tom, of whether or not the president actually does sit down for an interview with his team.
Right, but Kevin, this feels big, right? I don't know whether because it's just we're using the word subpoena and actually could go all wrong, or whether we're misinterpreting it. But if there is a showdown between President Trump's legal team and Robert Mueller, does it then become even harder if the president really has to testify?
Yes, I think that, Francine, should the president ultimately testify any time that a sitting president testifies with investigators is a huge deal, and so there's no timeline on that, and it would be interesting to see what gets leaked as a result of those conversations. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to downplay by any stretch of the imagination how large this is, and we just don't have the timing of it. The only person who really holds all the cards right now is Bob Mueller.